Are you stuck? How about unhappy? Join Alena Chapman, author, mentor, and life coach for Magical Moments with Alena as she challenges you to get out of the doldrum and start living your life to the fullest. Alena will help you take control of your life and push you to do the things you never thought you'd do. So get ready to take back your power and celebrate life with Magical Moments featuring Alena Chapman.
Welcome to Magical Moments, and I'm your host, Alena Chapman, and it's all about that ease and that flow in your life. So I have a little nugget for you today. Okay, now I know I'm always talking about ease and flow, right? Every opening. So I always think, do people think that my life is just this floating on a cloud? Or anybody, any guru, any person who is enlightened supposedly, are we all floating on clouds? Not really. I'll give you an example. Today, I was all heading out to do this show for you. And I have two dogs. I have my big red dog that you hear about a lot. But then I have my little instigator, my little 25, 28-pound dog, my little white fluff, bossy fluff, Sammy. Now, Sammy is the one that will jump over the underground fence. He will take that sting, that buzz, whatever it is, electrical shock, and brave just to see a new world. He does not like to stay in his comfort zone. What we all teach everyone, right? So here I was heading out, and then I get a call from one of my boys, one of my kids, that I need to come back because Sammy has just jumped the fence and has gone into the farmer's field. Now, he won't survive out there. And this time Ralphie, who's getting older, said, I'm not going. No way, Jose. And he didn't go to protect him. So off my little 28-pound dog goes running. And this is not ease or flow, is it? Because I'm supposed to be in my car driving to do this show. So I turn around the car. And at first I'm thinking, what the heck, right? Like anybody. And then I get there and I put on my boots, I put on a heavy coat, and out into the field I go. Now, here's the thing. We have hunters right now in that field shooting. That's why I didn't want to leave my dog. But on the other hand, I don't want to get shot either. And then on top of that, it's cold. Now, my dog doesn't come when he's called. I don't know why. I train dogs weird or something, because for some reason when I say, come, Sammy, Sammy sits down and won't move. I don't know how we got that crossed, but nothing I can do can retrain whatever I did to train that dog to do that. I don't think I'll win any awards from my training dogs. So if I yell his name and say, come here, Sammy, he will sit down. So that won't do me any good. So here I am in the farmer's field. This is not ease or flow, folks. And I am clapping, going, treat, treat. Because I think he'll come to a treat, right? And I'm clapping and clapping, saying, treat, treat. And I have my little leopard print winter coat on, and probably, that wouldn't have been a good thing to wear out there, would it? But anyway, out I was. Now, am I getting frustrated? I started to, of course. This is not where I'm supposed to be. I'm going to be late for the show. I am late for the show. But then, when I took a breath in, I smelled this the ground. I started to smell the earth, and I thought, oh my gosh, this does smell so good. I love the smell of the ground. I love the smell of dirt, basically. I love getting my hands in it and playing. That's why I like to garden. So I could smell it, and I thought, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And then as I looked out to the sky, because I always look at the sky, you know that, I looked up at the sky and there were snowflakes coming. And they were still, we had big snowflakes yesterday, but I got a little bit more when I was out in that farmer's field. The big snowflakes. And I looked up at the universe, at God, source, whatever. I always think it's up for me. I know they're inside, but still I look up. And I said, by the way, thank you so much for answering my prayer, because I had asked that we get giant snowflakes. If it's going to snow, God, please make it giant, beautiful snowflakes. And he gave that to me. So I thought, oh, you're reminding me today as those snowflakes started to fall on me. And I thought, this is truly beautiful. And did I find Sammy? Yes. Sitting in a bare patch of the farmer's land, wagging his tail, not moving. I guess treat means come. I don't know. But I found Sammy and brought him back. And none of us got shot by hunters. So here's the thing, folks. I could have been I could have gotten into a really bad mood. I could have allowed myself to go stomping out into that field. I could have been this angry, swearing up to wazoo person who would carry it into the car, carry it to the studio, carry it through my day on how awful my morning was. But was it really that awful? When we start to understand that there's polarity in everything, every crisis brings something special. It's that silver cloud thing. You got to look for the silver cloud. You don't even have to look for it. It's staring you in the face. You got to open to it. That's where the ease and flow is. Life is going to throw you so many things. Complications, challenges, hardships. But it's up to us to say, wait a minute. Smell the earth. Say thank you for the small gifts. Change your perspective. And don't allow the fear. I could have been really scared about the farmers shooting, or the hunters shooting. I don't know if it was a farmer, but the hunters shooting, because they had been shooting every morning. And I was concerned, but I thought with my clapping and everything probably would scare off anything other than Sammy. And I could have been scared that I'd lose my dog forever. Nah, I'd find Sammy no matter what, because he's my baby, right? So that fear's gone. I could have had a fear of... you can make fear out of anything. But the thing is, I chose not to. So whatever you're going through in your life, whatever it is, there is something to be grateful for. There is a special gift. I swear, the harder the challenge is, the more the universe will bring something very special into me. I remember one time when I was thinking I was just so, oh gosh, I don't know. I forgot the challenge even, but it was really not a good day. And I looked up at the sky as I was driving, and there in the clouds was undeniably the shape of a griffin. You know, those mythical creatures? And I just love the griffin. And I thought, oh my gosh, thank you. That is just what I need today. Strength. See, you're not alone in this world. And sure, you can have that freedom of choice to sit down in your puddle of misery and just hang out there as long as you want. Or you can look at what's really being offered to you to help you through whatever it is you're going through. And that leads me to a question we had on the phone, and that kind of answers a little bit. I got a question, and I'm going to read it to you right now. Alena, How can I best help someone who is single and has been unemployed for over a year and very close to losing her home because she can't seem to motivate herself to get a job? Okay. What is the best way to gently encourage and motivate another individual? What resources are available for someone with no income to get over their own internal roadblocks? Yes. Okay, well, this little nugget I gave is what you want this beautiful person to see. Sometimes when we're sitting in our puddle of misery, we get, come on, it's a spiral. It sucks you down into it. Now, the first thing I want to say, I am not a doctor. That's not one of the degrees I have. So if she has full-blown depression, she needs to see a psychologist. And there are plenty of psychologists who can help her that do not require a whole heck of a lot of payment, or will help her put her on a plan, or something will cover it. But as far as getting motivated, it's funny, we can't change another person. However, you do remind me of me. And when I don't know how many years ago it was, I had a friend. We were friends, but we weren't like best friends. And I met her in my meditation class. I always say she was the one who was always laughing so hard at my comments because I didn't know anything at that time. And she just cracked me up. And then she started working with me on a small, I used to have I decided to start a design landscape and teach people about organic gardening. I told you I love to garden, right? So anyway, she ended up moving in with this guy who was cold as ice and kind of getting herself totally screwed up, and then leaving him, and then scared that he was going to come after her. Well, he didn't know me. But I guess the thing I wanted to say is that she kind of went down. She was going down into depression really fast. She was just sinking in that water that she was sitting in, that little puddle of misery. She was lost. And it sounds like your friend is hurting and is lost. She's covering it with this not being motivated, but losing her job, losing life as it is, and she's filling herself with all the negative stuff, especially from the news, especially from a lot of the fighting. Everywhere you look on YouTube, there's memes and everything else, but there's that underlying darkness of the world we live in right at this moment, which, for a lot of people, it's a very dark place. So getting someone out of that puddle, like my friend, I found the best way to do it is by example. The best way that I could help her was to present her with, okay, let me back up. That spiral, that sitting in that puddle of misery, is that not feeling motivated, that darkness, that just, oh gosh, it just closes in on you. That's an energy. It's an energy, just like everything else in this world. It is an energy, and it can exist or it can be dispelled. And just like fire can be dispelled with water, you need to break the energy with your light. You need to break the darkness of that energy with your light. Now, that doesn't mean you go in with sunshine and rainbows and just, your vibration up at the very top, because she can't meet you that far. All right? It's in the little things. You break it with the little kindnesses. Like, what did I do with Melissa? I took her and I said, hey, let's go get some coffee. Let's go get some hot chocolate. And then we would just chat. And every time she would start going into the darkness, I would start bringing in a little bit of light. Not blooming bouquet of flowers, but maybe just one tulip or something in my speech. All right? And then I would invite her to do things with me. I'd say, hey, I have my boys. My boys were smaller then. I said, we're going to go sledding. How about if you come with us? Oh, no, I don't really want to. Oh, come on. It'll be so much fun. And the boys are going to miss you. And we'll just, you don't have to sled. We'll have some hot cocoa or something. But just come with me because it'll be really fun. And I would convince her to come. Once she got out with the boys, oh my gosh, she would have so much fun. She helped us build snowmen. We had a snowball fight. See, what I was doing was I was breaking her energy. You have to break the energy. If she is sitting there on the sofa watching all the crap that's on, feeding the darkness, you have got to break it. And the best thing to do is to get her out of that environment. Now, depending on how bad she is, it might take more motivation than just 1 or 2 trips. It's an environment. I actually had Melissa. I am not using this as saying you should do this, but Melissa was in a point where she needed a place to live, and I let her come stay with us for a little while. But the whole goal was to just allow her to find herself again. And that's what you're doing. Giving her avenues to find herself. She's not going to turn on outside sources right now, but it's baby steps, hon. It's baby steps. You break the energy. That is so important because they don't understand they're spiraling down. My mom used to say, I'm a realist. Oh, gosh, spare me. A realist. It's just another word for being in depression. So here, then, once you break that energy with just you, then what are her talents? I remember my friend had incredible talents. She used to make beautiful, healthy lotions when she was herself. She wasn't herself right now, but she used to make beautiful lotions, and she had skills that I didn't have that I wanted to learn. I said, hey, come on over. We'll have a glass of wine. I want you to teach me this. See, I put it that I needed her, not that she needed me. And then we had wine, and we were making facial lotions, and we were making lip balms, and we were cool things that I still do to this day. And she started to smile. She started to giggle. All these times, smiling, giggling, starting to ask me questions. Before I know it, I had her doing gratitude. But you got to break the cycle first. And then when you do that, then you can start with the gratitude. Get her a gift of a notebook that is a gratitude notebook. Get together, have coffee again, or a pastry, or just something fun, and do it together a few times. Talk about it. See how it raises both of your vibrations. Gratitude is one of the best ways to start to turn around your situation, because every piece of gratitude is like a burst of light in any kind of darkness. And then another baby step you can do. Once you start getting her on all this, you're having fun, you're doing things together, she's starting to laugh, you broke the energy, you're starting with the gratitude. Those are 2 steps. Then the third thing is, then you can introduce her to videos. You can start getting her to listen to something kind of cool that's not, we don't want to shove it down her throat about any kind of self-improvement, okay? Not yet. But my gosh, turn on some of my videos on YouTube, and this is not an endorsement, but it's the truth. A lot of my videos are very much on that, not shoving it down what you need to do or what you should do, but ask yourself questions, which is I do that on purpose. It's a non-invasive way for you to start thinking for yourself instead of me just telling you what to do. She might like that. There are other people out there that do that. So then start turning on that stuff. Every time she turns on the news, say, hey, I've got a video I want you to watch. I want to watch. Will you watch it with me? And just constantly get her out of that cycle. And that's the fourth thing. Turn off the noise. You know, the news, the negativeness. Turn it off. It'll bring her right back down into that darkness right now. She doesn't need it. Okay? So these are things, it's by example. Everything you do is by example. Because if you tell her going in there and just saying, hey, I've got things for you to do to get yourself out of this, she's not going to do it. I've dealt with so many people who have had depression. I've dealt with people who have ended marriages and just fell apart. I've dealt with people who've lost all their money and just were almost to the point where they just really just wanted to become a hermit and hide from all society, you know? So I know. And we can't just go in and say, okay, it's time for you to pick yourself up by your bootstraps. My dad used to do that to me. And it didn't always work. It was too direct. I didn't need that. But if he said, hey, hon, let's go out and let's shovel the driveway. I need some help. And I'd go out begrudgingly, but then he was smart. He'd start talking about really cool things, and that's where I'd hear his best stories. By the time I came back in all wet and tired from shoveling our long driveway, I was having hot cocoa with him. I was out of my funk. And as far as your friend, hon, once you start doing those 4 things, then when you start to see her more out of that darkness and more into that light, out of that funk and into fun, then you can say, hey, why don't we look at some things? Notice how I say we. How about if we look at some things? I heard about a job that you might be good at. Or there's this person who's hiring that is right up your alley. Do you see? You kind of have to spoon feed it for a little while. But you won't have to do that forever. Because pretty soon she'll fly or he'll fly. It's just that they were kind of knocked silly. This time in our lives, with everything that's been going on, we've all been knocked silly. And a lot of us didn't have the tools to look at the bright side. I always say to get out of a funk by ourselves, because I have been in, they say if you are going to ascend to a teacher in any sort of life improvement or spiritual, especially spiritual, you're going to be given many, many challenges. And I can honestly say, if by no other criteria, I have been given so many challenges. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I wonder. I used to say the universe would hit me over the head with a 2x4 to get me to get anything. And yeah, but it's a lot of 2x4s, folks. And the one thing I've learned is that I have to be able to say, no, I'm not going through this. I'm not going to be homeless. I'm not going to stay in an abusive relationship. I'm not going to whatever. I'm not going to lose my dog in a farmer's field or get shot by a farmer. Whatever it is, I'm not going to take this sickness. I'm not going to do this. It's this definite. Bob Proctor used to say, you have to make a definite decision and then you stand by it. Well, that was my definite decision. No, I am not going to go through this. I am going to go this way. That's all that's it. That's my limits. I see it. I don't like it. I learn the contrast universe. I'm not staying in it. And then it's just opening myself to the goodness of whatever I am going through at that moment. So like when I only had $200 in my pocket and I lost my home and I lost everything from a divorce and all I had was my 2 dogs and I didn't know where I was going to live. And I didn't have a job because it was summer, and I taught, which adjunct at that time through the university, so I really didn't have any money. And I'll tell you what, after I said no to homelessness, then I went to the river. And I sat down and I said, how did you, this river is so beautiful. I asked, what are the lessons you have for me, water? And it came to me like a bolt of lightning. I saw that it was strong, that it's always going through its destination. You can pollute it, you can divert it, but it's always going to move forward. It's always going to be the life for everything on this earth. See, you have to move forward in the gratitude. You have to get yourself out of the funk. But for somebody who's already in the funk, hun, you can be her life-saving raft. But you got to do it by example. I wish you luck. You can always reach out to me. You can always reach out to me at this wonderful radio station. And you can also reach out to me by info@soulmanifesto.com. And that's my website. Soulmanifesto.com is my website. But if you go to info, that's the email, and it goes directly to me. So I can answer and help you through this. All right, guys. As always, that's what we're all here to do. Soul Manifesto is an incredible group of people. I love them. I love my people in my group. They ask incredible questions. They want to learn. They want to grow. I see massive change. We're going into a new year. We're new beginnings. Who do you want to be? How do you want to live? Check out Soul Manifesto. Check out The Inevitable You. It's one of the most fun ways to learn how to break out of your funk and start creating, and best of all, manifesting what you want in your life. It is so much fun. And I'll tell you, I'm one who doesn't do anything unless it's fun. So join me. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful week with ease and flow, whatever you're going through. Namaste.
This has been Magical Moments with Alena, featuring Alena Chapman. If you missed an episode, download it now on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, CastBox, Deezer, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcast platform. Learn more online at soulmanifesto.com.